Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a Monday night at Matchfit Entertainment. That means it is the Rainlight Racing 2026 LMU Series, proudly brought to you by Matchfit Entertainment, live on the internet. As always, SIMRACING on board with everything Rainlight Racing, True to Life Racing Designs, Mr. Grippy and Crossy 43. We are, I think it is round 6. We're at Imola tonight. We're back to a little over an hour after an awesome long race at Le Mans last week. I'm Davo. As always, I've got J-Man by my side. And once again this week, we have none other than Isaac Ichikawa in the comms box. How are you doing, boys?
Yeah, g'day, Davo. G'day, Isaac. How are we, lads?
Yeah, good, thanks. Just getting ready for this race. The fields look very, very tight, and I've heard whispers of a little bit of rain.
Oh,
So something to mix it up there as well. So
we've got the
let's get
inside
the show
here.
under the road, eh? Can't come quicker.
Okay, well, there you go. Well, that could mix things right up. We don't see too many wet races here in LMU. We see a little bit of rain every now and then, but yeah, that would be interesting. That will definitely be interesting, as we think the boys are just about to hit the track for qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. So we best get some for you people, as I think it is Nathan Bewley rolling out of the pit lane, as Archie just goes off chops in the back. He's happy. He's happy. He's the #1 mascot there, Archie Bird. And yes, the 6 hypers, the usual suspects. Viewers: Nathan Bewley, Hayden Tegg, Chris Fraser, George Goddard, and Will Dixon and Robbie Mitchell. Have we got an extra one in there?
Jason Bone as well, by the look of things.
Oh, okay. There you go. There you go. Let's just try and pick up on that car as well. So
Another Pugot.
another pig, yeah. And we are at Imola here tonight. Awesome track. Look, J-Man and myself, and I suspect Isaac has seen plenty of GT car action around Imola, but the hype will be something else here. So yeah, buckle up, viewers, and yeah, let's just see how we roll. A little bit of a shake-up on the overlays tonight too, after a little bit of feedback there last week. So we've upsized things a little, so hopefully it's a little bit clearer for the well, you know, the more follically challenged. Well, I tell you one thing.
Be careful what you say.
I could hardly read it myself. Yeah, so last week, but yes, a little bit better tonight, ladies and gentlemen. As like we mentioned, boys out on track 4 in the hypers for the regular. What have we got? 20-minute qualifying with 10 minutes each over the hypers and the GTs. So watch this space. We will start seeing some indicative times pretty quick. Well, we have seen them already, I think.
Yeah.
No? Yes. No.
And
first outlet.
even during the practice session just gone by, the timing table looked very, very close in both classes, GT3 and hypercar. If we go back to last season briefly, when we raced at Imola last season, or the season before, when we had hypers, I briefly remember it was very, very tight between Will Dixon and Nathan Bewley. I think they were at each other's tails for 50 odd minutes during the race. So see if that one continues here as well, boys.
Yeah, I reckon Hayden Tegg might have something to say about that. I reckon he's going to throw his name in the hat based on what we saw off camera a little earlier. However, 4.9 kilometres, 19 turns is going to be a lot to sort out here, and around about 12 odd seconds, I believe, calculating, between the two classes. So it'll be interesting just to see. We saw what sort of mischief it made last week with obviously Nathan going around for an extra lap. We heard from him at the post-race interview that he couldn't roll out. The field was too close, and he needed around about 36 second buffer to be able to roll out. And I tell you what, it certainly cost some of the drivers late in the piece. We saw guys literally stopping right on the last lap. I think Mr. Roo and co. I think maybe even Grunsville actually stopped on the final lap last week. So they've got to think on their feet tonight, the drivers out there, based on the fact that there is two classes of cars, and that time schedule can alter slightly. You know, they're looking at a predictive lap, they're watching the VE, they're watching the fuel, but it can move on the fly, so to speak, can't it, Isaac?
Yeah, that's for sure. It can definitely move on the fly, and you know, like we saw last week as well, traffic really pays dividends. It can swing one way and then not swing, you know, the right way for yourself, and then you lose the time that you possibly gained. Imola's very, very tricky to pass around, and even in just a GT3 car. So with the hypercars as well, it's going to be even more tricky to try and time your passing right. So that will be very, very, very interesting to see how that goes. That's for sure.
Yeah, so Matty just tuning into the chat as he sits and waits his qualifying session to commence. And
Sounds nervous.
yeah, sounds like there could be a few tears out there to add to the rain. So yeah, potential rain scheduled for the GT3 qualifying. So that's going to spice things up. I mean, just, you know, the old saying, just add water.
Yeah.
I did see Will Dixon lit up the sectors there on his lap. 33.5 plays a 33.0, so the time's starting to drop now. So all these guys, peak temperatures, I think they were operating around, was it 31s, Isaac? Somewhere around there?
For the tyre temperature?
No, for the lap times. So did they drop?
Yeah, around 30. Yeah, 31s.
31.5?
High 31s. Yeah, high to low 31s.
So as the tyre comes into its phase with around about 4 minutes remaining, these are when we're going to see the really ballistic laps from these hypercars now. And I mean, Nathan Bewley is certainly showing the way at the moment. 2 magentas for him this lap, and looking to make an improvement as he starts dropping down the hill now, heading down to this final section through the Ravasa, and then he'll come back onto the Bassett Straight. See a pretty good time coming, I would think, here. Yeah, 31 with a 0. That's the best we've seen all night, I believe. So great time to turn it up, Nathan Bewley. He's very, very good in this situation. We've seen him week in, week out. Just seems to thrive under pressure, boys.
He does. He's definitely one who you cannot count out. Not to say the other boys you can't count out either, but if I were to put money on Nathan, you know, to be in the top 3 every race or top 2, it'd be the driver that I would be betting on. But hey, we don't condone betting, sports betting around here, I assume. So
gamble responsibly.
Yeah, that's
and
the guy. yes. Think about what it is really costing you, gentlemen, if you are thinking about getting into that. But yeah, he's definitely one of the drivers that I would, you know, be one to put the penny on. Not to say the other drivers can't do a good job. I mean, as we see the times coming through, it's looking very, very tight. 31 from Chris Fraser, and then a 32 from Robbie Mitchell.
Yeah, I reckon right now the bookies would say he's about $1.05. Just looking too good.
Really, magentas again, boys. So Just unleashing this thing. Just wow. Quickest car on track.
Matthew Clark in the chat.
Chris
Just
Rosa.
saying thanks for the financial advice.
Thanks. Robbie Mitchell sneaking up into second there in the port. Nice work from Robbie. Still got a little bit of work to do to even come close to Nathan, but able to pip Fraser in that last lap as we walk down into the halfway mark here in qualifying, boys. And we will soon see the GT cars, if not already. I think they are literally like, let's just sneak a little shot back there. You can see them in the background there in that camera shot. And they are waiting.
On hold.
They're keen. Look at them. But yeah, another just final quarter here for Bewley, who is magenta again, boys. Oh, no, he's not. Hang on.
A couple of not so goods, I think,
Okay.
calculatively.
So sneaking across there, 20-odd seconds before they release the GT cars. That gives Bewley another lap, doesn't it? Will Mitchell,
Yeah, and
Fraser,
just looking
and
through. Yeah, they'll get through.
They'll get
8,
through as well.
7, 6.
So Mitchell, the final
Yeah,
hyper across
yeah.
the line before they release the GT cars here. And first off the line is Lawrence, then followed up Reed, Clark, Makalos. Ah, these names. So much talent in this field. Steve Crossland. I heard he's done some practice for tonight as well, just looking on the socials.
Yeah, he looks the goods. Bewley lights up the magenta again, sector 1. Not his personal best through sector 2, but he's pressing on with it. He'll watch the cumulative quite closely, I'm sure, as he just kind of cooks that chicane a little bit, and wonder whether he doesn't use this final lap as a practice pit entry. You know how calculated these guys are with all the little things, the 1%ers, Davo.
True that. Final corner for Bewley.
He presses on.
He presses on. He's confident. Mitchell in the Dixon still on track. And the caddy.
Did Nathan go faster that one, saying it his best is a 30.741, and the last lap was a 30.741?
Oh, okay, well it didn't actually.
I think he went ever so slightly faster. Yeah, that's correct.
Wow.
Okay.
He did. 42.303 in the final sector. Very, very impressive. Mitchell, though, how did he finish up? Second, by the look of stuff there, over Dixon, Fraser, Goddard, Tegg, and Bone. And more importantly, now's about the time we start to see, in this final 8 minutes, the GT3 starting to lay the numbers down. It was a great fight before we got to this point of the night with Harry Lawrence and Macrolos, and Crossland was right up there as well, showing a massive turn of speed at the moment.
Look, Noah Reid, are we just seeing in behind the Mercedes of Shane Frodo there as well, still weaving to get some tyre temps in that car. That's Matthew Clark in the background. Then Kostas Makalos and, yes, Steve Crossland in the official Sim Blacks, number 43, Aston Martin.
Yeah,
That car
I liked it.
will get some airtime, ladies and gentlemen. Martin Richards in the Lamborghini, as always. J-Man, yes.
I like to be proven wrong, always, Davo. You know what I'm like. But I feel like Matty Clark, Noah Reid, And Doug Dale and co in the Porsches tonight, probably up against it here from what I've seen. Some very, very talented drivers, and based on that practice session, I just think the Porsche here not as well suited as maybe the Aston Martin, and certainly even the Lamborghini for that matter. But Costas Makrolos has got the wick wound up on the McLaren tonight, so watch for that one. I think that's going to be my pick, guys, tonight. I think for me, the 222 car of Costas Makrolos, I think he's a safe bet, would say a podium, but he could go better.
Yeah, it's a good bet there, J-Man. I think if we were to hint at probably qualifying who would the top 3 be, I'm going to say Crossy, Costas, and Clark. So see how that goes in 6 minutes' time, and we'll get back to you.
Yeah, okay, it's a good call. I'm just slightly different. I'm going to say Crossland, Makrolos, and Lawrence. That's my well, and maybe Clark to share the second row with Costas.
And Davo, yourself, what are you? What's your top 3, mate?
Mate, come on, he doesn't weigh into the shit,
No.
I know.
Forever the fence sitter. I do not gamble.
I'm gonna have to nickname you. You're the fence sitter, mate.
I am the fence sitter. Okay, so from recent efforts, I'm going to call Lawrence, Reed, and Reed is in a Porsche, but yeah, Lawrence and Reed, and he just cannot rule out Matthew Clark, really, at the end of the day. So
no, you can't. That's right.
So I'm going to throw him in there as well. So contrary to what J-Man mentioned about the Porsches, I have faith in the skill of these boys. I think they can manage it, given the right race in front of them.
Yeah, as Harry Lawrence just pokes it up to the top, and then Matty Clark into second.
Now you got Costas Makrolos.
And so Prodido, and I didn't put, the only reason I didn't put Prodido in there, J-Man, because we know, again, given the right race, his performance is outstanding, but I just don't think he's had the seat time in LMU over the past few weeks. So I think he'll suffer from that, and we've heard that from the boys before. Less seat time can be problematic with LMU because it is a tough one. It's a bit fickle.
Pete Dawson, who was that? He rounded up the outside. It would have been, I think, probably
the orange car,
Jason Morris. Yeah,
Morris, you are correct.
It was a hairy, scary moment. He got it done, though.
I think we should be in for a great race this evening, gentlemen. Going off the timing board.
So Elvis has asked the question: current form, no Gunther in that list. Well, it's actually a great question. Gunther has been performing incredibly well. However, tonight, just haven't seen a lot of the 580 car. To be fair, already in official practice. Didn't really come up on the radar. No disrespect to Gunther, because he has been performing beautifully this season. And
again, is it another? He's not in a Porsche either, too. So definitely one to look out for. And yeah, definitely. I wouldn't say punching above his weight, but he is performing very, very well recently. So it's showing a new livery, I think, tonight as well, just on my screen.
Yeah, that livery of Gunther's looks really, really smart. I like the black and then the white outlines. Yes, it's very nice.
Yes, definitely. So yes, is it just Imola things? Because it is a very much horses for courses track. Some of these cars will just not lift here compared to other.
Hell, Noah Reed's got the memo that I'm counting the Porsches out and poked it up onto the top spot right now.
With
So
Matt Clark right behind.
yeah. So
They've heard her. They've heard her.
Don't listen to the commentators, guys. We know nothing. Anyway, still a minute and a half. Come on, Heather.
Come on, Crossland. Come on,
come
mate.
on, Crossy.
Okay.
And for Elvis's sake, where is Gunther?
And so the fence sitters pick the top 3. Why is that? Are they just because they're the easy bets?
That's it. Harry Lawrence, thank you, brother.
Thank you,
Goes to the top.
Costas Makalos, actually, you don't count Makalos out. They're currently sitting in 4th provisionally. Sneaks it onto the front row in the GT class. There, boys. So not Crossland, not too far behind as well. Fodado, pushing Fodado even further back. Martin Richards in the Lamborghini. Let's get back to where Gunther Rowe is. Gunther Rowe just rounding the final corner here.
Yeah, personal best, couple of 2 sectors in the green. He's looking good. Comes up to P7.
Very nice, very nice.
So Crossland, personal best sector 1. What's he got? He's gone in there on a 21.48 versus Harry Lawrence's 21.36. So he's on the money. He's right on the button to be able to maybe come up and join Noah Reed and Matty Clark here. He's on a very, very similar number to those boys through Sector 1. Presses on. We get a read on Sector 2 now for Steve Crossland. 33.7 plays 33.7 for Costa. So he's bang on the numbers for Sector 2.
And very tidy at the bottom of the hill there, J-Man. Really kept the car settled. And again, even through the chicane there, a little bit snaggy on the exit, but very nice on the entry. Good solid drive here.
Nah, carry on, Craig. We're all speculators here, mate. If we don't make it in broadcasting, we'll get into real estate or something. We're full of it. Sorry to all the real estate agents out there.
But yeah, salesman.
Real fine. Yeah.
Be a salesman as well.
Craig really should be up here himself, you know, because he's full of it as well.
Steve Crossland, what have you got? What have you got?
Oh, look at that.
There you go, P2 Harry Lawrence, Steve
geez.
Crossland, Costas Makalos. I might have picked it, boys.
We're not going to hear the end of it.
Oh, we love it.
Oh, jeez.
Hang on. It's not done.
Wait. Who we got left? Oh no, it's in the pits already. Okay.
Oh, good to see Martin Richards as well. Get the Lambo up there as well. Knew he'd be strong here. He's been performing beautifully. Gunther Rowe, like we mentioned, up to P7. So provisionally, if we have a look around, I think that is it. We do have Harry Lawrence over Crossland, Macrolos, Clark, Reed, Richards, Rowe, Fodado, Dawson, Marnie for the 10. Good to see Dugdale, Aidan Kafiki, Davidson, Gibbs, Henderson, Worcester, Kramer, Grunsel, Morris. I think that'll round out the GT3s. It's a strong field here. It's looks like a 19 car field for the GT3s, is it? Somewhere around there. Do my maths. Yeah, somewhere around there. So times-wise, we saw, boys, Nathan Bewley dipping well into the 30 bracket. We talked about those mid-31s in practice. They wound the wick up. Look at the times, 31.4 for the next best of Robbie Mitchell. And 31.7s line up the next 3. That's Dixon, Fraser, and Goddard. And then we drop into the 32s for Teg. 35.6 there for Jason Bone. But those times there, other than the Harry Lawrence time, 42 with an 8. And then we see just a plethora of 43s all the way down to P9 in the GT3s before we drop into the 44-second bracket. So this is going to be a fantastic race, lads. It is going to be super, super tight.
For sure, and more importantly, there seems to be no rain. So whether or
Yes.
not that will
Yeah.
be coming halfway through the race or at the start of the race,
True that.
we shall find out.
We shall find out. Quick look at the points, boys. If they're up on your screen right now, Hyper's first with Nathan Bueling leading the way with 174 points.
Yeah, starting to get a handle on it now, Nathan. Consistency and obviously a massive amount of success of late is he's really starting to make his way there and look solid throughout this championship over Chris Fraser. Will Dixon as well. That's a good battle there. Goddard still in the hunt as well with those boys. Robbie Mitchell, I feel like, is probably going to keep his eye very firmly on Hayden Teague at the moment. However, out-qualified him comfortably tonight, so watch that space because that's a good battle forming. Obviously, we got a couple of apologies in there as well, but Noah Reid, 10 points clear of Gunther Rowe, and Craig McConnell just touched on this earlier. Gunther's performance sees him in second position in this championship at the moment, and Matty Clark, 121 points. Not really used to seeing Matty Clark back there, however, still in podium contention at the moment, but he's got some work to do on Gunther Rowe and Noah Reid. And Pete Dawson, very, very consistent. Probably not his best performance in qualifying tonight, Pete Dawson. However, he is certainly in the hunt for the championship. Martin Richards, 92 points. Costas Makrolos, he'll be looking to try and bolster his point stocks here tonight, racing out of sixth in the championship over Harry Lawrence, who is back with us for the season, I understand. So that's always a good thing for the sport. And then Crossland is on a rip at the moment. And Sam Carson, Ken Dugdale rounds out the 10. Phil Davison, Shane Fodderdo. Good to see the 777 man of Phil Davison in there. Shane Fodderdo, the Giga, and the Mercedes. So it's very tight points here, down 11 right through to 20. A couple of ring-ins sort of. I think that certainly makes for those guys, give them something plenty to play for. If they choose to look at that, they'll know who they're operating with as far as the point structure. So buckle up, everyone. This is going to be an absolute rip tonight. The times are tight. Track is a goodie. And
I think it's a little bit damp, actually. We've got a wet 28. Are we going to get a little bit of vision now? And try and hang on. We need to get some
This start is going to be very, very interesting. Some of the boys, especially in the hypers, I've heard that they haven't had much wet running practice. So going into T1,
there you go.
Be very interesting.
Go grab the safety car, Isaac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The forecast.
The forecast just flashing up on screen there as well. The top center. So that will give you a rough idea of what these boys are up for. But yes, we are definitely on a damp track with a small percentage chance of rain. So overcast and about 20 degrees ambient temperature, and a very wet and a little over 20 degree temp. Oh, this is going to be awesome, guys.
I'm very, very excited for this race, boys. I'm sure you are as well. Not often do we get wet weather races here, but when we do, it's always a good show.
Yeah, now I've got to take it all back. This is where I think the Porsche's going to come into its own, boys. And I hate to sound like I'm reneging, but
I thought I was the fence sitter.
I like the weight over the rear axle in the wet, boys. So maybe this is good for the likes of Matty Clark and Noah Reid, Dugdale and co here.
Martin Richards as well, their J-Man in the Lamborghini as well.
We are about to go green. There has been enough bets laid already. Lights are on. Windscreen wipers are wiping, and we are about to go live and green. Round 6 here at Imola for the Rainlight Racing LMU series. Look at the hypers go. Look at the spray.
a big accident. Noah Reid, Shane Whānau. Sorry, boys, but I think it all just kicked off.
Kicked off in the GT class immediately. I think we got Bone going backwards as well. There, Bewley trying to just make some ground on Fraser. Dixon in behind. The Hypers come out relatively unscathed. That is Crossland. Is that Crossland around?
No, it was Harry Lawrence from the lead.
In the background.
Unforced, cold tyre.
We will let this...
And this, boys, this is why we like rain.
This is why we like wet races. And we will just let this lap complete quickly before we get back to the replays, because we do have the replays. We do have the replays, and we will pick up on the GT incidents in the background. But look at that.
Oh, and I tell you what, Matty Clark is already putting the heat on Steve Crossland, so...
And he's going around the outside.
Oh,
Both
he has
of them
to cut the
taking
chicane.
evasive action. Crossland very wriggly. Who's that? Macalos background.
Yeah.
Martin Richards in the Lamborghini, then Gunther Rowe.
Oh, we got Robbie Mitchell off up the road in the Hyper, and he's come off, looks like maybe down. Was that down into the Ravasa? I think it was. So, yeah, it was down the bottom of the hill.
So we're going to pick up on the first of the GT incidents here, ladies and gentlemen, and this is the Noah Reid. Picking up on it, it was Shane Whānau. It got tangled up. Looks like Whānau actually 360'd the car and carried on.
Did he get a good run and was going down the outside of Noah there or something? That looked really awkward. So it'd be interesting to unpack that a little bit further. And speaking of unpacking, poor Noah, just literally at all sorts trying to get the car facing in the right direction to get going.
Okay, so there looked like there might have been contact between Rowe and Whānau there. J-Man just proceeding.
Yep. Wow, they did a fantastic job to get that going. Both of them, Rowe and Whānau. Unfortunately for Noah Reid.
Lawrence J-Man here. This was turn 4. Like you mentioned, totally unforced error. Backs that car into the fence. Wing stays intact or connected to the car. I don't know how the adjustment.
Oh. And on the live too, mate, Martin Richards has just had a moment as well, and he's gathered it up, but under great pressure now from, I think it is Adrian Kramer and Morgan Gibbs. So, the guy's just taking a minute to adjust to these conditions, as we just saw you were picking up on another incident with one of the Hypers. So there's a lot going on out there at the moment, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I think we've got incidents with PD Manson Grunsel as well. And yes, the list goes on. So the boys very much coming to terms with the conditions as we speak. No surprise, ladies and gentlemen here, and we have well over 60 minutes yet to run here, so these guys want to get it together pretty quickly here. Who has come in? Let's just get, we got positions gained and lost up on your tower right now, viewers, so you can just see who's moving up and down through the field there.
It does look like Harry Lawrence has a penalty of some sort as well, down in 14th position.
Yeah, he's got a 10-second there as Jason Bones still struggling with this hypercar there as he is on the infield as he's come out of Tozer to head up the hill. It has gone wrong. I'll tell you what, Matty Clark right now, guys, looks super strong all over the back of Crossland. And I'll be interested just to see what the numbers are. Okay, so the energy numbers are very much identical and likely going to use a bit less energy, Isaac, in these conditions. A little bit more roll and coast in this environment. maybe not as, I mean, it will equalise based on the fact that they're all out there in the same, well, same class, not manufacturer, but Matty Clark looks super, super comfy right now.
Yeah, Matty Clark's doing a great job there, just tucked in behind Crossland, and it is harder to follow someone in one in the wet, and two when you've got a spray fall of water just coming straight up the back of Crossy's car. And in regards to VE and fuel saving, yeah, in the wet generally what you'll do is you'll do a little bit of lift and coast into the corners to settle the car, slow it down, and then get onto the brakes, so that there will be helping them preserve fuel and VE.
Yeah, see what he
Yeah,
did there. He
see,
tucked up
yeah,
right
no,
in behind
he
it.
did.
Crossy
And
Crossy
run
blew.
deep.
Yeah, he actually blew the Tamarillo chicane there. So he's feeling the pressure on.
Yeah, a little bit of an unforced error there from Crossland. I don't even know whether... I don't think they're allowed to butt draft in in the competition. So I don't think there was any contact, but Crossy was well aware of where Clark
Yeah, look at the
was.
drive traction. Look at the drive
Again,
traction
here
out of
we go,
Tozer from
here
Matt
we
Clark
go.
there.
And I will say, boys, as well, it looks like Macrolos has had a incident somewhere, so now top three
Yes,
is
so we did pick that up on the
Crossland,
replay
Clark.
there, Isaac. Just a moment,
Yeah.
only just a moment ago. And yeah, just unforced error. And he wasn't that far behind Clark and Crossland at the time, and just a little bit unforced error at the bottom of the hill out of the right hand. So unfortunate for Macalon.
Yeah. Nathan Bewley, guys, looking comfortable now, starting to get some tyre pressure into these wets working. Magenta sector 1 this lap. And yeah, really, really quick out there. 44 with a 1.8. The only other guy close to him at the moment was Will Dixon, 44 with a 1.7. So he's got the fastest lap, as we see. Now, Bewley already having to deal with traffic at this early phase of the race. Some of that will be by the way of maybe catching up to cars that have had incidents or maybe had to transit pit lane through incident, but already having to deal with traffic so early in the piece.
Well, what are we were only about 7 minutes in or something.
Yeah.
We normally see it go from anywhere from about 11 to what, about 14 minutes, J-Man? So
Yep.
very early turnaround for the Hypers starting to come through. Given the conditions, but I don't think we've ever really compared it in the rain, though, have we?
No. Now watch this drive traction. Sorry, I'm just going along
we're
wall with
on
Matty
it.
Clark
We're
now.
on it.
He was high and wide the lap before, straightened the car up and got great drive. This time he had a look up the inside. Crossy went the high line, got nice drive on the exit. A little bit vulnerable in the middle. However, it just ended up being status quo as they come across the top and they drop down into Aqua Minerale now. And once again, this will be a spot here where the Porsche will be solid on drive traction up the hill here.
Crossy hard on defence as well.
Oh, totally, man. Look at him there. And again, this outside move from Clark.
It's the second time we've seen Matt do that, and he might think better of trying to do that outside line because Crossy's not going to give that one up. He's just got to be a little bit careful he doesn't pick up any infringements. I know he'll be rolling out of the throttle enough to negate a time advantage on the track cut there, but it just, you can see that there. Those tyres carrying a bit of dirty stuff on them now from running through the grass. Didn't pull up at the bottom of the hill down to the Ravasa, so
at all.
Just got to be conscious of that. However, no such issues for Bewley. I think Robbie Mitchell now heated exchange here with Hayden Tegg. Now, was that Tegg went through, I believe. So Hayden Tegg moves up a spot, I think. Yeah, Hayden Tegg maybe just got that done over Robbie Mitchell. What's the numbers?
That up on the replay there, Joe.
Yep. Just trying to see what the numbers is. Gunther Rowe up the road to Matty Clark. Okay, 4.7 seconds. So he's got some work to do, but nice dose of fresh air from him back to Joseph Marnie. So Joe's doing a nice job, boys, here. P4 in class early in the piece here. And managed to stay out of trouble.
So, mistake by Mitchell, J-Man, to allow Tegel Sue there.
Yep.
Just picked up on the replay.
You wouldn't have to ask Hayden twice.
Definitely
Although
not.
I can
Keep it clean.
see some dust there. Who is in the dust?
So that is Jason Bone again. Off tracks, definitely struggling with the conditions at the moment here at Imola for round 6 in the Rainlight Racing LMU season 13, ladies and gents. Yes, it is season 13. Sim Black's always on board.
They barely got some work to do, guys. It just comes up around the outside, up the top of the hill.
That's Noah. That's Noah.
Up through the Piratella, around the outside of Worcester as they drop down into Minerali now. So he did a nice job there. He managed to pick off the traffic beautifully through there. Did Nathan Bewley.
See clearly, just via the camera angles there, it's very, very wet track still.
Oh,
Not a spray.
sorry, we've got an accident. A 17 car. So is that Mason Grunsell and Adrian Kramer? And I only picked up on it by watching the positional switch again between Hayden Tegg and Robbie Mitchell, changing back positions, and all of a sudden there was a whole lot of action going up there, boys.
Possibly looked like there was a hypercar involved in there. I'm not sure, or if it was just a GT3's. Yeah. Catch that one on the replay. Now, one thing I am thinking about, probably 20, 30, 40 minutes from now is when the track starts to dry, will they be running out of fuel and VE, or will the track still be wet and they need to stay on wets, or if it'll be that kind of crossover point to where you could go on dries?
That's a great point, actually. The predictive forecast, Davo, how far can you see into the future? Your telemetry, my friend, because we started at 1% rain. We're now at 14% by my calculation. It's very wet. It's 20.7 degrees out there.
Good question, Jamie. Good question. Let's just see if we can get a little bit of forecast information up on the screen there. Can I read it? Probably not. It's my tiny little monitor here, but I'm gonna have...
Keep it there, keep it there, keep it there.
So this is 57 minutes time. Cloudy.
It's going to reduce. Yeah, it's going to reduce. But I tell you what, that's hella close to the end of the race, Isaac.
So 38 minutes is still going to be raining. So I'm assuming they're just going to chuck some.
It's very much a wet race.
Leave the wet on.
Yeah, you got to bank a wet situation and then just ask them to take their pain for the final 9 minutes, right? So 8 minutes. So, hey, look out there at the moment. Just a recap at the moment, guys. We have got Nathan Bewley, who is actually just rounding up Shane Fodado, and that is Harry Lawrence. So those guys engaged in a great battle, but Bewley out there by the tune of about 8.5, well, about 8 seconds, somewhere around there as he sees. I think that's Jason Bone going round again. God, he is certainly checking out all the sponsors off track tonight. However, Nathan Bewley out there by a good margin over Will Dixon, and then Chris Fraser, Robbie Mitchell, Hayden Tegg. They've had a couple of exchanges there tonight already. Has Hayden Tegg and Robbie Mitchell. Goddard, bit of a lonely 6 out there at the moment, and then we go down to the GD3s, and it's very much a 2-horse race at the moment, to the tune of 5.5 seconds over the rest of the field is Steve Crossland and Matty Clark, and that up to this point has been fantastic to watch. Matty Clark with a lot of pressure. Doesn't seem to have the straight line ability of the Aston Martin when they
No,
get on the Bassett
no.
straight to do anything about it. However, he's all over him everywhere but. And then Gunther Rowe, like I mentioned, a solid drive in P3 at the moment. And Joseph Marnie, very much keeping him in check. I think there's around about a 1 second difference between those two drivers. Harry Lawrence, we saw him stage left. It was actually stage right, exit lap 1 with a cold, wet tyre. And he's coming back through as well with Shane Fodderdo on the heels as well. So good performance out of those two guys as well to just keep it going. Aidan Kafurki as well. It's a good performance for him out of P7 at the moment. Martin Richards starting from 8th and currently maintains that 8th position. However, I reckon there's a little bit more to that story because we did see him off track a little earlier. Costas Makrolos, that's one of the big stories though, back 4 spots, and I think you guys picked up on that a little earlier. And Noah Reid as well. So outside of that,
again, there actually is Matt Clark just next par. I'm sure that was Reid's car in the fence between 3 or 4 and 5 there. Oh, actually put Matty off there. I think he just had a little bit of fixation on Reid's car.
Yep. And not to mention as well, boys, Harry Lawrence still got that 10-second time penalty hanging over him, I believe, potentially from a start infringement as well. So just to factor that into the margin that he will operate with throughout this race, wherever he may land. If somebody is within 10 seconds, he's likely going to lose 1 or more places based on that, unless it can be cleared at the pit stop. I'm not sure exactly on the technical side of the pit stops, Isaac. I'm not sure if you can shed any light on that, whether that's something that he can sit and hold or whether it carries through to the end.
It really depends. If it's a stop and go, I believe you can serve the penalty while you're doing fuel and tires. I may be wrong. I can't quite remember. If it's a drive through, then unfortunately he'll obviously have to drive through and then go through the pits to then complete his pit stop there. So he'll probably be thinking, hopefully it's a stop and go, 10 seconds or whatever.
Yep.
And then he can get on with his pit stop and go from there.
Yeah, right. So that is where we're at, and that was, I think I might have started calling that around about close to the 60 minutes to go, boys, and now it's 57 minutes to go. So there we go. We're still very much in the early stages, and if we have a little touch on, let's call it the hypercars at the moment, as per usual, Nathan Bewley, albeit out there in front, pressing the margins on the times on the totem. 43 with a 9 as well in these conditions is a very handy lap. However, is looking very healthy on the VE as well, 72% remaining over Dixon, Fraser and Mitchell on 71%, and then I see they've all just dropped into that bracket, so there's probably only a 0.5% between those guys, so very much very similar. And I'm just seeing Steve Crossan flashing up yellow, so I'm going to hand it back to Davo and just try and get a pickup on that, because he's going to go right back behind Joseph Marnie.
Joseph Marnie, and notably Gunther Rowe, who was, I think Elvis had odds on. But yes, let's get a little sneaky peek. I need to scroll. Where is it? There it is. Steve Crossland. I think unforced error out of the hairpin. Just quietly, maybe, before the hairpin or just after. We're getting seizures.
Yep. She's a little bit clunky. Come on, 397.
Let's see if we'll try it again. Here we go.
Yeah, give it another
We're
crack.
going to give it another shot. Here it is.
Okay, so coming up here to Tozer, which is the left-hand hairpin coming up the hill. Looks
Wonder
pretty.
if he just got on the throttle a bit early. Yeah, a bit too early maybe.
Yep, pretty hard hit too. I just go on board with Steve Crossland for a second personally and just see what the steering looks like in that car. No, looks to be relatively straight. It would have hurt the front splitter though, so he'll suffer a little bit of that straight line advantage that he had over the likes of Matty Clark, but he's got work to do, and he's got, for the first time in his race, outside of a hypercar lapping him, or actually I don't think they've lapped up to Crossan at that point, but I think they have now. It's the first time he's had to deal with, it's the first time they've had to deal with spray. You can just see a bucket load of understeer through the Villeneuve chicane then, that time through. And he'll be tentative as he comes out of Tozer once again after that last lap incident, but gathers it up to Steve Crossan, presses on, and still remains in 4th position. So tells you about the margin that he had before that incident. Matty Clark, however, boys, gets his opportunity now to just go out there, run his own race. Still 54 minutes to try and think about everything, and you know, these guys, they're going to work for it tonight. These conditions will be testing every lap. They'll have several moments, I'm sure, throughout the lap of when the car just wants to do something a little bit different, maybe hit a bit of white paint or miss a brake mark. It's just a lot harder to recover from in these conditions. You can see it's proper wet out there too.
Yeah, and these boys will be full concentration mode, just like you were saying there, J-Man, and you know, all it takes is a split second in the dry, so even quicker in the wet. You know, but I will say at the very start of the race, with the incident between Noah and what it looked like was Gunther, the rest of the boys from the behind of that did a very, very good job of avoiding any more extra carnage.
Look at what's going on up front here. It's just next level. Mitchell running through. That was, I think he's just gone past Lawrence. Is it Lawrence or Frodo?
No, it was Frodo, Lawrence. Yeah, it was the whole shebang.
It's just a whole bunch, a couple of hypers and the mid-pack. And I think you guys were just starting to touch on this. It's actually bunched. This little group of cars up here. So Rose in the lead of that. Rose actually in 2nd position in the GT class cars at the moment, but really bunched. This, well, essentially is the mid-pack, but it's the top end of the GT class here, right up again. And we're seeing this week in, week out lately, where as the race goes on, the race just ramps up, doesn't it, in both classes?
Yeah. And that was Harry Lawrence on the move, gets it done over Steve Cross and starts lining up Joe Smarney now. So, and Crossan loses it again. Now that's out of Aqua Minerale, just gasses it up. So might need to wind a little bit more TC into the back of that Aston Martin.
We literally got the cameras on board in that car, and there it goes.
Turned up with so much promise tonight, did Crossan in the dry. He looked absolutely rapid, was holding a nice lead there with Matty Clark in tow, and unfortunately, not sure whether maybe he just overpressured the tyres at the start of that one. That car looked really, really good, Isaac, at the start. Maybe those tyres now have just overpressured in these conditions and started to fall away, because it doesn't look like the same car we saw for the first, 4 or 5, maybe even 6 laps. It looked pretty good.
Yeah, well, it's funny that you, it's not funny, it's interesting that you mentioned that there, J-Man. I know when you do have a spin and the wet tyres do get hot, it's very, very hard to cool them back down again.
Yeah.
So that could be definitely affecting the car of
round,
Steve Crossland's.
Sorry, boys. Marty round 4.
You're right, mate.
Tucked in between Rowe and Lawrence there. Literally unforced error for Marnie.
Yeah, and he's going to have company with Crossland again. So they're going to meet again. And
it didn't even look like the Porsche was up on the... Oh.
Chris Fraser. Chris Fraser around and the Hyper. So still plenty of it going on. That was down into Aqua Minerale.
Yeah, just picking up the throttle a little bit heavy.
Oh, big impact on the left-hand side of the car.
And same place Crossland left the track the last time, at least anyway. And you can see Fraser there as we just pick back up on him. Oh, Collins is sideways to a hypercar, like seriously sideways. And it gathers it up, so definitely got the red mist.
Oh no, has he gone again?
He has gone again.
Yeah.
That car looks
struggling.
almost damaged now. That actually looks like it's pulling to the right a little bit. The left, should I say, and it's pushing it into the wall, so not ideal. That is Lawrence in one of the GT class cars just sneaking past that wounded hyper of Fraser.
Lawrence doing a great job up to P3 as well there, boys, isn't he?
Oh, he's
unfortunate about that penalty.
Yeah, so obviously got that 10-second hanging over, but he's gone through the likes of Marnie, Fodado, and now he's up to Gunther Rowe, and he's got there at a great speed. Matty Clark still the quickest guy out there. Not last lap round, although he has got the fastest lap of the race on a 56.0, 59 with an 8, and they've all dropped a long way back based on these conditions. Clearly got quite a lot worse as far as standing water and the amount that they got to deal with out there, but so Crossland gone back again because I thought he had eyes on. Oh, and he's gone again. So Crossland really, really struggling at the moment with the rear of this Aston. Hate to pick up on him at a time like that, but
it's unfortunate for Crossy, isn't it, there, J-Man? You know, like we were saying earlier, he's done such a great job to get that car up the front and then keep Matty Clark behind, and then unfortunately it's just gone from, I guess you could say, bad to worse for Crossy.
Yep. So Hayden Tegg, boys, and the Hypers already made his stop, stationary for around 24.5 seconds. Sees him just under the minute mark to transit the Leighton. Comes out with mid 80 something % VE for the remainder of this one. Still got 46.5 minutes to go, so interesting. Tegg gets himself out, I guess out of sequence with the other Hypers, so interesting to see what that looks like. And good pace as well last lap round, 45 with an 8 to be the second fastest car Hyper out there, only just a touch away from Nathan Bewley's time as well. So Hayden Tegg's found some pace at this stage of the race as well, so look to see what that delivers a little bit later on.
Yep, that's for sure. J-Man, Hayden Tegg doing a great job. You know, he's been a little bit of the silent assassin this race, been a bit quiet, but making his way through the field and keeping out of incidents, and that's all you need to do, especially in a wet race like this, isn't it?
Yep. Let's not put the mocker on him, guys. It's
no.
snaky there.
No, Lisa or someone's probably tuning in. Come on. Yeah.
As he starts to range up on some of GT class cars there, I think that is Martin Richards. They're just sneaking past in the Lamborghini. So
Harry Lawrence right on the back of Gunther Rowe now, so this will be for P2 if he can get up and get it done, and he's got there at a great rate of knots as well. Ken Dugdale up ahead of them, so he'll be. Oh, and Harry shows the nose straight away down into Tamarillo, makes Gunther think twice about it, misses the apex into Tamarillo, compromises them on exit, so there'll be a run down here as Harry gets all sorts of sideways as they head down to Villeneuve.
That's exciting. It is
yeah.
Epic stuff there from
could see Shane Fododo still lurking in the background there as well. So these guys need to keep it pointing in the right direction. And in respect of Harry Lawrence's time penalty, if we look back to Shane Fododo, he's
currently
around
sitting
about
in third, then, isn't he?
Well, he's 5.1 seconds behind, so effectively, he still owns that spot at this point of the race. Harry needs to get through and bank another 5 seconds on top of that.
And the only way he's going to do that is to get past Rowe, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hence the
there you go.
agency.
Cue Lisa Tegg. We're trying not to jinx your boy, so he's doing a great job.
So a little bit of focus on the GT class cars here at the moment because it is getting very tight at the top. Yes, Matty Clark is out controlling the lead of that GT class race, but in the background here it is hard fought. They're actually coming up on a lapped GT car here. I think of, is that
Dugdale?
It's Dugdale, yep.
Oh, look at Harry here trying to live around the outside, and they'll just compromise Gunther's run for turn 19.
And it still allows Lawrence's wide run into the final corner, so it sort of didn't compromise Lawrence too much here. And look at the pace!
Yeah, he'll have a big look down into Tamarillo chicane this time round. Guaranteed. There's some overlap.
Gunther pushing him for space. Lawrence having to work hard, had to get the elbows out.
Yeah, beautiful though, textbook. And they've got Hayden Tegg coming up on them as well, so a little bit more to think about. However, it's Tegg's job to do get
Tegg
past.
Just needs to stay focused here. Tricky part of the track. He's going to get sandwiched in between him here.
Yeah, so that's good for Lawrence based on the fact that Gunther had to roll out.
Tegg's again compromise very wide. He's got to be careful here not to pick the throttle up too much. We were talking about not putting the mockers on Hayden. We didn't have to because these guys were doing enough.
Doing it for us.
Oh man, that was scary to watch. A crazy overtake there from Lawrence on the row. We actually might pick up a replay on this because there was a very intense overtake here. Gunther not budging an inch here. Look at this again as we pick it up on the replay. Lawrence literally having to muscle his way past Rose Corvette there. All the while, Hayden Tegg on his way in the hyper, and then here it is, Tegg's. Looked like he was almost going to sneak in past Lawrence there, but not quite. Wow. Very tight stuff at the top, boys. Very tight.
Costas Makalos
great
also,
racing.
boys, been into the pit lane, 10-second stop.
Yeah, Costa's never one to, what's the word I'm looking for? Doubt. Even if he is at the back of the pack or mid-pack, he is one who's known to come through the field as well. So it'd be interesting to see. He's got 40 minutes to go. So see if he can jump anyone in the pit stop. Maybe he was looking for some fresh air. Who knows?
And you talk about 40 minutes, Isaac, and that'll be something that Harry Lawrence will be considering as well, as he just took a half a second out of Matty Clark the last lap through, or just under a half a second. So Harry Lawrence working with a 9-second deficit now. It was up around 10.5 prior to getting past Gunther Rose. So just watch that space, and a lot of work to do, in respect of obviously got that 10-second time penalty hanging over him. So the first job will be maybe creating a 10-second gap, maybe back to third, and then see what he can do with Matty Clark. And Matty Clark at the moment's a sure set of hands out there in the front. And certainly I don't think we'll be stepping too far outside the comfort zone at the moment with that Porsche, knowing he'll be well aware of Harry's time penalty, and he'll be aware of the margin back to Gunther Rowe. So bit of a meat and drink situation, I think, when it comes to pit stops and the way Matty Clark will run this thing home. But Harry Lawrence will make it pretty exciting, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. That's right there, J-Man, as well. I'm sure in the back of Matty Clark's mind, he'll be licking his lips going, you know, if he can finish in P1, that's great points over Noah Reid and Harry Lawrence as well in terms of the championship fight.
And for those of you boys that were putting your mortgages on Nathan Bewley at the start of the night, was probably a pretty safe bet. Like I mentioned, was probably only paying $1.05 because he's 20 seconds in the lead over Will Dixon at the moment, and looking comfortable.
Yeah, Nathan's just doing a superb job out there. He's doing all the right things, keeping the car on the track, and you know, he's very sensible when it comes to passing the GT3 cars. He's one that's will be patient and wait for the right time, and not put either himself or a GT3 in a bad predicament there. So hats off to you, Nathan. Someone needs to stop him though.
Putting your hand up for a hyper next season, Isaac?
Yeah, possibly. See how we go. I was actually driving around a hyper at Imola when I was at home for a couple of days, so I just trying to get the feel of it. But keep your eyes peeled for next season.
We love to see it. We love to see it. So just looking, yeah, so obviously, Elvis, you are tuned in. So to educate us on the whole LMU situation, 10 seconds. Now, on the penalty, it just says 10 seconds. Is that likely to be a stop go 10? Is that what we're reading? Because if it is, I mean, it's a transit time plus the 10 seconds plus another pit stop, and that does detrimental things to Harry Lawrence's points ability here tonight, and we hate to say it, but if that's what it looks like, as opposed to maybe 10 seconds time added to the race. So be interested just to clear that little discrepancy up to see what that looks like. Obviously, it's not something we see a lot of here, boys.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how the rule works here at Rainlight with these races, J-Man, because, you know, like, if that's the case, then, you know, like, for argument's sake, that if he doesn't do the roll through the pit lane, it just takes the 10 seconds at the end of it, then, mate, he's just got to keep his head down, doesn't he, and just run as fast as he can to the finish. Otherwise, a trundle through the pit lane isn't going to save him another stop. We just know that. So
Harry's definitely found some pace in that car and on the track. Current track conditions, he's about 5 seconds in front of Gunther within what's that, the space of 3 laps.
Just watching the caddy of Will Dixon going past him there. Dixon sailed past him, but then he just held him like through that series of corners there. So interesting stuff.
Yeah, so okay, so a little bit of AI mode there, boys, and it does very much look like it will be a 10-second hold in the pit lane. So 2 transit times for Harry Lawrence to go through the pits, unfortunately. So not likely going to be able to service that car and get that done in the same stop. I think that goes against the grain. So
Yep.
yeah, that certainly puts potentially at this point of time puts Fordo comfortably in a podium position. But man, Harry is digging deep at the moment, boys. A second faster that time through on Matty Clark. 7.043 seconds is the distance between them at the moment. And like I mentioned, these guys, the IQ of these guys out there running around at the moment is incredible. They'll know what's happening in front and behind. So Matty Clark will be super aware, with or without mum spotting for him, of what's going on. They have an acute IQ knowledge for what's going on. So he'd be comfy out there at the moment. Nathan Bewley, he's got to be feeling pretty relaxed at the moment. He's on the buffer of everybody else, if not slightly better on the VE, and if he's just working this thing out, he'll just reverse engineering when he's got to stop, come in, play it safe, be watching the weather as well. As you mentioned earlier, Isaac, he will, as I'm sure a lot of the drivers out there, be just watching this weather pattern at the moment, just trying to run this thing as long as possible. There's a few that have gone against the grain. Costas Makrolos in the GT3 car, he is one of them, and certainly Hayden Tegg in the hypercar. He's certainly, he stopped 11 laps ago. Makrolos was 6 laps ago. We've got a couple of scattered ones in there. Ken Dugdale was 18 laps ago out of, how many laps through are we at the moment, boys? Where's my data?
Good question.
We will be 24 laps in for the hypers. We're 21 laps in for the GT3 cars. Lap 22 commenced now by Harry Lawrence and Matty Clark. So very much Hayden Tegg's opted, saying, hey, it's going to be wet right the way through. Anything less than that's probably not going to be worth worrying about. It's only going to be a lap or so. So he's banked on that strategy. The rest of the field, I still feel like they're playing this one long, which is common really, isn't it, Isaac? We do see them run these things right down, run the tank right down, run the E right down rather, VE.
Yeah, exactly right there, J-Man. Generally, you run it down to as low as you can go, and then you just pit like normal. Some people doing the alternate strategy where you might pit with 40% VE or 30% VE, depending on your situation. But I think most of these guys that you see out the front will run it down low. Looks like Joseph Marnie may have just done a pit stop as well, going off the table there.
Yeah, just exiting the pits as we speak, and in comparison to Costas Makrolos, so he was a 26.8 on the jacks. It's going to see him go maybe just around about that minute mark or just over for the total time. So there you have it, 63.4 at a 26.8 stationary. And if we have a look, yeah, so at 22, he came in. So I think Joseph's probably still very much got his eyes on a prize out there. He's been in the thick of the action. Davo, you picked up on it earlier. He's in a great battle. Plenty of guys there. So he'll look to maybe just try and get this thing back up to speed.
And Sue in the chat just saying Matt's not pushing as hard as he could, saving a bit of VE. Looks like he is going off the VE percentage, 27% to Harry Lawrence, 23. Yeah,
and we know how Harry is a bit of a master on the VE. So Matt just in a great position, got a great start to the race, pressure on Gunther, Crossland, and then when that unfolded and he came away with a nice buffer, it's been all management at this point of time, and just looks super comfy at the moment. I reckon if we had him on comms, he'd beg to differ, but and given my track record lately, I'm not grabbing anyone tonight, boys. It's just a little too much. I mean, I was grabbing them in peak conditions and they were still spinning, so I'm just not going there. You know, like I don't need to make any more enemies. So
I'm sure Sue will be happy to hear that one. That's for sure. But yes, we have been on a bit of a run for bringing someone into the box, and then as soon as we say a couple words, they unfortunately crash out.
So 25, approaching 26 seconds, the margin now for Nathan Bewley. He's doing a stellar job out there. 46 with a 7 last time round. Predominant part of the field doing 48s. The best of them. Hayden Tegg though, 46 with a 2. He's got pace. So we'll just have a look at that number. And he's got around about 8 seconds, I believe, to make up on Robbie Mitchell. And if he keeps chewing off 2 seconds a lap, it could be a battle for the podium for sure, with Robbie Mitchell still with a stop to make. We talked about Hayden Teague stopping early. Is that a bit of a masterclass there? You read something in the room quite nicely, because you're not going to get in and out of the pits in 8 seconds. We saw these guys exchanging positions well early in the race, Davo. Robbie Mitchell and Hayden Teague, and I reckon Hayden Teague might have the upper hand here. If I've got my numbers right, let me just recalculate those numbers just to see what the margin is. Yeah, so he is...
Yeah,
he's down to 6.5 seconds, so he is on the money here as Hayden Teague. He is coming. He's got pace as well. Robbie Mitchell last lap through was a 50.9. Hayden Teague's about to cross the line as well. What does he do? He does another 46, a 46 with an 8. So he's the fastest car out there as far as a hyper's concerned, or anything really. There's nothing faster right now than Hayden Teague on lap 26 for the hypers.
He's doing a great job. Oh, no.
I didn't even have to bring him in the booth.
Oh, no. Oh, dear.
Oh, no. Lisa, I'm sorry. I'm just going to apologize straight away.
In advance.
What do you do? You know, in my defense, I do not control the cameras.
Hey, what are you trying to say here?
I'm chucking you under the bus, Davo.
Oh, dear. Can't catch a break, can he?
Oh, my gosh. Moving on. Matthew Clark doing a nice job.
Harry Lawrence looks like he's got that 17-second gap to the row as well. Was it? No, 10 seconds.
No, he's got 10 and a half, so he's got him covered. However, what it doesn't calculate the pit transit time and the fact that he's got to come back in. So, look, she's all for the sponsors and the enjoyment factor of it right now for Harry Lawrence, and proving, you know, outside of anything on the totem, he is very, very fast. Doesn't matter what you put in front of this guy, conditions-wise, track-wise, he's always on the money. He turns up and delivers. So he will rue that 10 seconds tonight, that 10-second stop-go.
Yeah, tricky situation there. I wonder what that was for, actually, because it came up very early in the race. I wonder whether it was something to do with that opening lap there, boys.
Yeah. So look, was there potential there for maybe one of the things that came up was, you know, if there was a pass made outside of track infringements, is a big one. Just see
I
if we
think
can...
also, J-Man, if you are out of place ever so slightly on the start procedure, it'll give you a drive-through there as well.
And it could have been as simple as that. The sliders, and these are the 1%ers we keep talking about. And oh, there's Matt Clark with contact with Ken Worcester. That was Robbie Mitchell tucked up behind him in the Porsche there. Clark around.
Oh no, it's all come undone.
Clark.
And here comes
And
Gunther
Worcester,
Rowe. How far back?
No fault of Worcester at all there. Looked like Worcester was almost trying to give Matty some space. J-Man. Isaac, how do you... Oh, and it's... Oh, so it was Worcester just got a little bit of loss of traction out of the final corner. Slows the progress.
So guttering.
Slows the progress of the Lexus. The Matty nowhere to go.
No damage though. No damage.
Wow. Lawrence through. It's not going to make any difference, is it? Lawrence still needing to sit on the jacks for what is it? How many seconds?
Well, he's got 10 seconds to dispatch of as far as the pit lane infringement's concerned. However, that that doesn't equate for the fuel and energy that he requires as well. So
He needs another stop, yeah.
yeah, and then the other thing as well that maybe because he's probably not been in this position, I wouldn't think is Harry Lawrence. Does he bring this thing in and do in time enough to, because if it forces him to do the 10 seconds on the stop and not the fuel and energy, he needs to calibrate that he'll have enough to maybe go back around and get that done in case it forces him into the stop go only this time, unless it's a selection he can make. So there's a little bit to unpack there for Harry in this next wee phase, and he is what is he? Is 11%. He is roughly using, I think he is using about 2.6, 2.7%. So that sees him the better part of what? Still got another 3 or 4 laps left in it. However, I would be thinking more like 2 or 3 in case it forces me into the 10 seconds and not energizing the car in the same stop and having to go back around again, because you wouldn't want to run out because it's forced you into the penalty stop. So Gunther Rowe now.
Oh. Yeah, in good stead.
What is the margin? Let's see what the margin is. Gunther Rowe. Okay, he's still 4.9 seconds behind Matty Clark. 7.1 seconds is the margin. Harry Lawrence over Matty Clark. Noah Reid showing up yellow intermittently. What was that? Maybe just a little bit of overusage of the track.
Does look like Harry Lawrence has done the quickest lap though, J-Man, now, if it's just coming through.
Yeah, he's done a 5.8, so 155.8. So that's a good couple of tenths quicker than Matty's personal best.
So he's definitely a man on a mission, is Harry Lawrence.
A little over 20 minutes to run here, viewers.
Oh, this one's going to be nothing short of educational, boys, this one.
For sure, just when you thought, still looking good, we've had 2 drivers have a little bit of a whoopsie, so it's definitely not over until the end of the race, that's for sure.
So
no surprise. I'll tell you what, J-Man. But carry on. No surprise we're seeing a little bit of a shake-up towards the end of the race here in both classes.
Yeah, and Wheels was just lit up on the comms there. So was that was the incident with Matty, was it? I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think Matty will put his hand up for that one. Anyway, I think Sue's already said Matty got that a little wrong. Guys will hug it out and carry on.
What else do you do?
Sit in your room crying about it. That's what you can do, Davo.
Well, that's a fetal position in the corner,
Yeah.
Rocking.
Yeah, box of chocolates and a movie on.
Yeah, just rocking.
That's how I do it. Bewley.
Oh, Grunsel just goes into the fence just ahead of, I think that was Gunther Rowe at the time. So his night continues, and there'll be some stories come out of this one. A wet race really just tests all the abilities.
Yeah, for sure, testing everyone's abilities, and it's one of those races where you learn from your mistakes, and then you get better the next time you race on a damp or a wet track. But majority of the drivers doing very, very solid drive. It's not easy to race in the wet, especially on LMU, that's for sure.
We love a challenge, though, Isaac.
We do. I'm a little bit
Harry-
disappointed that I'm not there, to be honest.
Yeah.
Harry Lawrence to the lane, boys. We're going to get some questions answered very, very quickly as to what this looks like. And more notably,
Well, here we go.
he did have enough. Okay, so he's re-energizing the car. And does
Okay,
the
so he's
pit
doing his
stop
stop
infringement
first.
go away?
So he's still stopped. So I think he's serving his penalty now, possibly. Because he did sit and wait there for a
Apparently he's gone.
while.
Okay, so
He's gone now.
it was 24 seconds on the jack, and we'll see what that looks like versus Gunther Rowe, 16.6. So yeah, you could argue that the first part of that stop was the 10-second penalty.
10 seconds, yeah. Well, we're going to soon find out as he runs across the exit line here, boys. Penalty cleared.
Yep.
So there we go. Looked like you could do the penalty clearing
With your stop, yeah.
in the pit stop, which is cool.
So that changes things very much.
Very much so. Wow, there you go. So that has left Lawrence still in second position in the GT class behind Matt Clark after some contact with Ken Worcester there.
With Matt Clark still to stop.
Yet
And
to stop, though, mind you. Nathan Bewley, Will Dixon and Robbie Mitchell holding down the top three positions provisionally in the Hypers. With Hayden Teague actually still out on track. Good to see Hayden actually run that car back to the pits. Very damaged Peugeot. Ran that thing back to the pits. Got it sorted out. And carries on. It's all about the long game here, boys. Grab the points. Nice work, Teggles.
now Matty Clark is 37.7 seconds ahead of Harry Lawrence with a stop to be made. Just hear me out here, boys. And the reason I bring it up, is because Harry Lawrence, okay, let's pick on Gunther Rowe, 16.6 seconds he stopped on the jacks to be 50.6 outright. Now, a little bit of that second number will be relative to where they stop in the box on versus the control line, yeah? We know that there's some inconsistency there.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is I think it's a little closer than Matty would like now after that incident with Ken. And as you can see there, Ken, Matt says sorry. Just clear that up. So, yeah, I don't know that this is all completely done with 16 and a half minutes left to run, boys.
And it is interesting you do say that, J-Man. Looks like Harry Lawrence is pushing this lap as well. And
Yep.
I'm sure Harry Lawrence will also be seeing that delta between Matt Clark and himself, and will be also pushing to try and close that gap.
Yeah, so last lap through, Harry Lawrence, 209.5. Now that'll be relative with that's the out lap. So this next one will be the relative one, but
Looks like possibly purple sector for Harry Lawrence in the first sector.
yeah, and yeah, session best sector 1, personal best sector 2. So really up on it, and up on it by around about 6.5, 6 3/4 tenths as well on his personal best. And the personal best was, if you remember, was a 55.8. It's been bettered by Matty Clark at a 55.5. So those guys trading at the moment sometimes, and rightfully so, because it's going to come down to those as Harry Lawrence deep down into the Ravasa. I just probably misread there with Grunsel just running deep, and he missed the brake mark a little bit, so that might have scrubbed a little bit away from this lap, which was going to be a ripper. Oh, he goes 55 with a 0. It didn't matter.
He's a man on a mission, isn't he?
Yeah. And looking at Matty Clark's... Oh, so Matty Clark's been in.
Pit,
Right,
and Harry is just right behind him.
Yeah, so 13.6,
given the flashing lights.
48.4. So there you go. That's how tight it is. We have got a battle on for the back end in the GT3s. Nathan Bewley still doing it well comfortable, lads. He is got it out to just over 31 seconds now. So he probably make a cup of tea at the pit stop. Still be okay. Maybe not quite, but...
Good to see Hayden still continuing laps.
And like I mentioned, he'd stopped. He's actually stopped twice. Obviously, that car pretty busted up, I think, after Davo picked up on it last time. And so that margin now... Yeah, he's 3 laps down on those boys up the front. It'll be hard to take your eyes off of Harry Lawrence, Matty Clark. Don't forget about Gunther Rowe. He's still in there somewhere, I think. Or he's a bit further back.
Rowe and Makalos are going at it in the background.
Yep.
So
Macrolos looks good.
very healthy battle here. Makalos has looked strong, and that looks like Bewley's car that's just snuck past them there again for,
Yep.
I think, a 4th time here. Makalos
So-
almost looks like he's biding his time a little bit there. He's able to put the pressure on Rowe, but doesn't it look like he's wants to commit just yet, and maybe looking for a mistake. And we saw Rowe there, very snaky, up and off the ripple strip into one. And is that what Makalos is looking for?
And while you're looking at that, I can tell you now, Harry Lawrence and Isaac would have been privy to seeing it. Had a big look around the outside at the hairpin at Tozer coming up the hill and very nearly got it done. Has Harry underfueled? 12 minutes remaining. And Harry has got, what's he got? He's got 24%, 2.7 a lap. No, I'm going to say
He's
say
right
he's
on the
good.
money.
Yeah, I'm going to say he's
Yeah.
good. We know how much of a magician he is around those numbers. But you know that Matty's going to make him push and use every ounce of energy that he's got available. That is for sure. Costas Macrolos, what's the numbers look like for those two? Macrolos, 20%. He's even lower than Lawrence. He might be... what's he using? Macrolos is using 3%. Now, he's marginal. He is questionable over a Gunther Rowe with the slightly better option at 28%. I think Costas may struggle in the final lap here on this one. Maybe even a lap and a half.
And it's funny, we were saying earlier that, you know, these races, this season especially, they seem to really heat up in the closing moments of the race, and this is another one of those moments as well.
Yeah, look, we've seen it the last, I think, 3 weeks in a row where both classes have. I think Nathan's definitely got the measure on this one in the hypers tonight. But a little bit of action going on in the background. But in the GT class, yes, Isaac definitely wrapping up towards the end. You can see Matt Clark's car with a fair bit of damage to the front of it, I think, after tagging Ken Worcester's Alexei Lawrence in the background. Relentless pressure. We don't have to go too far back here to get to that. Oh, and that was... sorry. Stay composed. The Gunther Rowe Costas Makalos battle. just as we flick the cameras there, Costas with a tyre, a rear, out on the grass. Big wriggle, really struggling to pull the car up. Costas looks like he has way more pace than
Actually, just
the Chevy
yeah.
of Gunther Rowe at the moment. Yes, J-Man.
No, doing the numbers, I think Costas is safe. I think he's probably going to get home by about a litre.
He's looking very speedy.
Well, not a litre. Sorry, 1%.
Though will not
Lawrence,
make
you're
it
talking about?
easy, as we've seen
Yep.
on Harry Lawrence. Gunther's not going to make it easy for Costas to get past us for sure.
I don't
No.
think Gunther makes it easy for anyone to get past.
Yeah, true. Probably not wrong. Probably not wrong there, Davo. It doesn't matter if it's hypercar, GT3. It just, he'll make your job hard.
He treats everybody equally.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it does a stellar job of it, as we just see. Who is that just rolling out of the pits? I think that's Robbie Mitchell. Yes, it is. And that is in front of though, actually. You can see him behind Mitchell's
Lawrence.
car there.
Harry Lawrence. Sorry, boys. Can he
Side by
make it stick
side.
round the outside?
No, J-Man, he can't do that from there. Surely not.
Oh, he might. He's got the run.
Here
He's
we
got
go.
the run on the Porsche. Oh, jeez. Okay, good.
Yields,
Good.
but
Oh,
the
what better
compromise
of
of the
it?
line. Oh, smartly so, really, boys.
That's a balls on the dash moment.
Very, very nice work. And we will try and pick up on that. These guys don't go into battle again.
I'm sure Matt
Hang on,
will
we're
be
gonna
well
try
aware.
We're going to try and pick up on this replay. Just we'll get a load of this.
Oh,
Oh,
Nicholas is
no.
tagged Gunther Rowe.
Oh,
Here it is, replay, and
oh
we don't
no,
know.
with the big incident.
Oh my days! I have no words.
Okay, we're just trying to get this one out of the road, ladies and gentlemen, and we are definitely
Well, it was
going.
worthy, Davo. It is a worthy replay, for
And
sure.
we are- thank you. But look at this. We knew this was going to happen. Oh, there it is.
Davo just relives the moment.
Yeah.
As
Yep.
Mitchell comes up in the background, and we saw this. Oh, then it's Bono.
Oh dear, funny.
It's like
That
deja vu.
reaction.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I'm sure there'll be some
Well,
F-bombs
I
dropping.
think Isaac, Omo Days is the correct.
Oh jeez. I would love to be in that Discord chat right now to hear what has been said.
Oh, no. 6. Just under 7 minutes to go, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. How things can change. Matty Clark, Harry Lawrence still holding down first and second in the GT class. Costas Makalos now past Rowe. Fontenot getting tangled up in all that. I don't know where to go. Nathan Bewley does actually lead the race. He is the only one that has not done anything, been anywhere. Just played it clean the whole race. Will Dixon in second in the caddy. I did not expect to see that car in second position at the end of the night after watching pre-race and qualifying. And Robbie Mitchell in third in the Porsche. He probably doesn't think he would have been in third position either. Hayden Tagg cracking on in the Peugeot.
Boys, we've got a drying track. There is a groove forming. We talked about it at the top end of the broadcast.
5 minutes.
The rain has stopped, and there is a groove forming on the rave track. And we can see Matty sideways. This is going to cost him because the run from Harry Lawrence
here we
will be
go,
too
here we go.
much out of the final corner.
There you
And-
go, just like that.
There you go. He was waiting for that moment. We talked about it. Stalking, putting pressures, come back from a 10-second penalty served at the pit stop. Put a lot of pressure on Matty Clark. This won't be done. Matty won't give up on this. He will keep the pressure on. However, with this drying track, whose tyres were pressured at what and whose can sustain this drying track towards the back end? We're going to see the lap times light up for a couple before maybe they don't. Once the tyres get a little bit too hot. Do they start searching for water? They're all on the race line at the moment.
Just a quick replay of that. And so that was Matt Clark getting the insides on the inside ripple strip out of the final corner there. Just too much inside ripple strip. Gets the Porsche a little bit sideways. Like you said, that's all Lawrence needed. He was sitting there. He was waiting. He knew something would happen if they kept the pressure on. And there it is. Gets it done. Does Clark have something to fight back with on a drying line, boys?
Well, look at them. Look at them searching for water. Right out there to the right there.
4 minutes, J-Man. 4 minutes and 10 seconds.
Maddie a little bit squirrely out of the ultra chicane there. Just trying to get that power down. As that'll be Robbie Mitchell. Matt Clark won't want any part of that. He'll be like, nah, pick another spot, buddy. Chasing Harry Lawrence here. And that is a battle, actually. That's... Who is that? That's Robbie Mitchell. And who was the other car? Nathan Bewley. So that's Nathan Bewley coming to lap another hyper. Wow.
It's on another level, Bewley.
Yeah, so that's
showing that he's
Robbie.
got,
Yeah, that's Robbie. Who he was like just in amongst that whole little mix up there between Macrolos and Rowe there only a couple of laps ago. So I think just steady as she goes from Mitchell. He just came up on that. He's like, oh well, I'm staying out of that. I'm sure as Bewley come up on him, he's probably thinking the same thing, just going, yeah, no, I don't want to get involved with that.
Look at Clark here. He is right on the bumper now of Harry Lawrence. He is not prepared to give up on this one. He'll be thinking, you got there through a mistake out of the final corner. I've got more. I'm going to have another crack. Come down into Aqua Minerale here. He's right on him. Still with him.
What great racing these two are showing us. You know, the professionalism and skill that it takes to drive one this close, and in the challenging weather conditions, as we can see them get a bit loose.
Give them a bit of a tickle up.
Hayden T coming up in the background there. The rain lights are flashing as we look over the rear wing again in the Aston Martin. You can actually see Teggles in the background there. You can actually see the reflection of the light, the brake lights.
Yeah, the rain lights are flashing. How cool, as you mentioned, Elvis, is it to see the rain lights flashing at Rain Light Racing? We don't see it often, but I tell you what, it's made a spectacle here tonight.
Yeah. More wet weather racing. Come on, guys. Get amongst it. Clark, wide.
Yeah, he's throwing everything at it at the moment. Absolutely everything at it.
Does Harry Lawrence have enough VE to finish the race at 5%, and he'll probably have one more lap to go?
Yeah,
So it'll be relative to Nathan Bewley where he is. So we'll just check out where Nathan is.
The finish line looks like maybe towards the back end of the track.
Okay, so he's up at the ultra chicane. So he's going to go again, which is going to create the boys to have to go again. I tell you what, 5. Okay, what is Harry Lawrence got in the tank? 3.9. He needs 3.1. He needs 3.1 on his average to get it done. And I tell you what.
It's tight. Is that what you're telling us?
He's got 3.5. They're about to drop down the hill into the Ravasa. It is going to be super tight. Matt's doing the right thing. He's got to push him. He's got to ask him to use every bit available, as they both just missed the apex there into the first part of the Ravasa there. So we'll give you the live numbers when they cross the line. Harry Lawrence currently at 3.1 coming up to the line. 2.7, he used that lap there. So if we have a look, ooh, it's going to be close. It is going to be close.
Whoa.
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure he does actually. I think he's going to struggle here. It's going to be super tight. He may already be.
Clark's just pushing him along.
Like literally, it does not get much closer, boys.
I reckon Matty might have this, mate. I reckon Harry's going to have to roll out.
I reckon Harry's already rolling out because Clark is all over the back of this. Oh. It will come down, right down to the wire. Where is Bewley? We've got to get back on this just quickly. Where is he?
He's just coming over. Where is he? He's coming down. He's coming down into the final 2 corners into the Ravaz. Actually just grabs up a little bit of kitty litter for good measure. Rounds it out for the last time. Does it emphatically tonight, does Nathan Bewley. Congratulations, my friend. But I tell you what, this one here, Matty Clark.
Oh,
what are we looking at?
0.8. Too deep on the outside there.
0.8 for Harry Lawrence. 0.4 for Harry Lawrence. So we've got an acceleration zone to make.
Nice work from Bewley. Will Dixon will come second in the hypers. Robbie Mitchell, Hayden Pegg, but Lawrence will sneak this GT class win in. What a spectacular
0-0 it's got for me, for Harry Lawrence.
Well, he's going to get a penalty if he... Oh, he's let him
He's run out.
Done. He is done on the line.
Oh, no.
What a fantastic battle from the lads. But take a bow, Nathan Bewley over Will Dixon, Robbie Mitchell, Hayden Tegg. But then comes Matty Clark. The slenderest margin over Harry Lawrence. Shane Fodderdo grabs himself a podium. What did happen to Costas Makrolos? Did he have to make another stop? I think he may have.
Which puts Marnie in 8th position overall, J-Man. Martin Richards in the Lamborghini in 9th, and Gunther Rowe in the top 10.
Wow. Just wow, boys.
Next level.
What a great race. Great race. And the weather always plays a factor.
Amazing stuff. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, just keeping the boys in the comms box on their toes again at the end of the race there. Well, boys.
Imola always providing the goods, isn't it?
It's
last couple of seasons we've been here.
Imola things, isn't it?
Fantastic.
Yeah, no, awesome stuff. And look, and we just drop a rain in, or just a shit ton, and that's what happens.
All right, I'm gonna cue this podium, boys.
Yeah, let's do this.
And I'm bringing the 3 contenders from the GT3 straight down all at once.
Nice.
Let's do this.
So welcome aboard, Harry Lawrence, Matty Clark, Shane Fodderdo. That is your podium from this fantastic spectacle that we've just seen here tonight. GT3s, just add a little bit of H2O, and it is all on. Man, a bit of everything. I think I'm going to start, first and foremost, I'm going to start with Shane Fodderdo. Got home in 3rd here tonight. The front end of that Mercedes must be just destroyed after what we saw down at Aqua Minerale there a little earlier. You got us on comms, Shane?
Hey, fellas. Yeah. Yep. It's just pretty munted after that.
I got a bit of airtime, Shane, by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how we ended up here. I had a 360 before turn 1 and another 360 later in the race, and had a big crash at the end, and I'm still 3rd, so I'll take that.
Yeah, so a little bit of real estate disagreement there between yourself and maybe Gunther and Noah Reid at the start of that one. So it was a little bit hard to unpack in the spray there, Shane. But I'm sure everybody's intentions were good. However, it certainly upset the pecking order a little bit at the start. But mate, a bit of everything in that one. You guys were amongst the thick of it for the better part of tonight's proceedings, mate.
Yeah, and that was the first time I've driven in the rain in this game, so it was a bit of a
Well,
learning
hats
curve.
off to you, brother. That's unreal.
Yeah.
It took
Yeah.
me a while to figure out slow is fast, brake early and sort of try not to lock the brakes. But yep, got used to it after a while.
Yeah, nice.
And
Well done, mate. Well done.
I mean, it wasn't fast, but I was just keeping consistent, I guess.
So was it fast? Well, it was still good enough to put yourself there, mate. You know, you got to run the duration as well. So stay there, Shano, because we're going to come back to you on that because I've got questions for you all. But Q and Harry Lawrence and Matty Clark here, and this was an absolute ding dong. And Matty, I'll get to you, but the first part I want to unpack was obviously Harry. I just got to pay homage to you and keeping your head and chin up, mate, with that 10 seconds overhanging you. I didn't know what that looked like as far as the rules and provisions around LMU as to whether we're going to make you come in twice and not maybe service the car on the same stop. However, they weren't so harsh, and obviously that first part of the stop, it looked to us like you got to negate that 10-second penalty and then press on. So maybe just talk to us a little bit about how that came about, if you do know, and then just what that takes to keep your focus going forward, knowing that you had to come back from such a long way.
Yeah, so the penalty was a start infringement regarding erratic driving and braking. So just
Oh,
I didn't know that was a thing.
Wow, news to
Yeah,
us.
Well, you
yeah.
do now.
Yeah,
If you watch it back, just my car, you'll see it's pretty obvious as to why I got the penalty. But yeah, I didn't know you could get that, so I was a bit bummed. But
I could have told
oh
you that
well.
one.
they were those penalties were brutal when the like back when the GT3s first came out. You used to get starting infringements for erratic driving all the time through doing really nothing wrong.
Yeah, and I just had to learn how to drive this Aston in the wet. It's a very different car in the wet, and it was pretty shit. I made changes to the bumpers and stuff to negate the front load, and it just didn't work. So, in regards to that, that was pretty average. But for the rest of the race, just making my way through the field was really good, and making some nice overtakes along the way. Gunter made it pretty hard. Got a bit of a lifeline with Matt having a whatever happened at the last corner. I have to look at that back.
I drove into the back at Ken. I he didn't get the power down that I was expecting. Definitely my bad.
Yeah, I did hit him on lap 2 as well, so maybe he'll report that. I don't know. That's up to him. I'll apologise to him anyway about it. And yeah, just what a percent less on the fuel. Would have been fine if Bewley wasn't so fast, but oh well. That was saving like mad and finished with 0.01.
yeah. So we saw that. So viewers, if you've just picked up, so that is Harry Lawrence coming from second, and second only by meters in the end because Matty Clark, our race winner, pushed very, very hard post pit stops. It was, it was sort of only predicted it was going to be that close from very late in the piece based on the times and then obviously the incident that Matty had with wheels. And then pressed hard, Matty. Little mistake out of the final turn gave that Aston all the opportunity to go down. But man, you boys pressed on really, really hard. Epic times on a drying track. So that's another point of conversation that I wanted to touch on is the drying track at the back end as well, and tyre pressures and what that was doing as well. But Matty, congratulations for grabbing that one. And we knew it was going to be tight for you, Harry. You're always the magician with those VE numbers, and it was just literally a beesdick short tonight, and I think that was probably the difference. But Matty, the pressure, defending, but then the pressure you put on for the final sort of 4 or so laps at the back end, mate. Talk to us a little bit about that, and the heart rate, the intensity they required, and those tyre pressures.
So I chucked on, when I saw it was wet at the start, I just chucked on a wet setup. And so in the opening stint behind Crossy, and then at the end with Harry, I kind of knew that I was going to have nothing in a straight line. The Porsche is already bad enough top speed wise, but slapping on as high a downforce setup as you possibly can to run in the wet, I was like, oh, I'm probably not going to be able to repass Harry, but I figured if I could just sniff his gearbox the whole time, maybe it'd force an error. It was a lot of fun. The moment that kicked off and I realized I could close right back up to him, I had a big grin on my face. Heart rate was through the roof the whole race, though, to be honest, because I did no practice this week. I don't like Imola. I came into this race with.
Stop it.
I came into this
No,
race.
cancelled. Cancel him.
Sorry, I don't like this track. I came into it with very low expectations, and I think the wet conditions really played to my favor because I have found I can be fast in the wet. I don't think I would have had race winning pace at all in if it stayed dry. So that really helped me out. But my God, did it mean my jaw was clenched the whole race?
Yeah, I sort of backtracked on. We were all sort of laying down the TAB bets at the start, and then the second we went to grid, and it went to rain. I sort of said, "Hang on a minute, hang on, cue the Porsches back in here," because I literally had wrote you off, yourself, Noah, Ken Dugdale, and Cohen, the Porsches on a dry Imola. I just didn't think it was probably conducive to a Porsche, and the Astons looked super strong. I thought Martin Richards in the dry would have performed pretty damn well. However, not so much with the trying conditions. But Shane, for you, obviously a lot of learnings going on out there. You mentioned that first time out in the wet in LMU. How do you find those final sort of 7 or 8 minutes in that drying track? Was it a factor? Like, am I sort of barking on about something that didn't really exist, or was it spiking the temps at the back end?
No, I think the setup was better for the end of the race because I didn't feel like I had any grip for the whole race, and then at the end it started hooking up, and I was gaining a second a lap on Gunther before they had a bit of a spin. So I thought I was going to get them in the last few minutes anyway. So I was looking forward to that, but yeah, just it was coming to me at the end. It was gripped up. It was good. But
Yeah, no.
like I hadn't done any practice, so I didn't know what to expect really.
Yeah. It was hey, look, you had the three of us up here super entertained from the get-go tonight, like literally, Shane, I think you're a part of that. So from, literally, I'm not even going to say turn one because I don't think we made it that far, but it was super entertaining. And
it started pretty early, that's right.
yeah,
The entertainment.
Yeah.
One of
we
the
applaud their
Hypers
performance.
just didn't get off the line, which I think really killed Noah because it looked like he got backed up by a hypercar that just couldn't get the power down
Yeah.
at the start.
Yeah, I'm just watching it back now.
Yeah. So there was a little interaction, I think, between Noah and I think it might have been Roe and Shane here, and yeah, just I think Noah actually came out third worse off, but yeah, the action started pretty damn quickly, boys. That is awesome.
Yeah,
Guys.
fantastic stuff. So congrats to the three of you, obviously Matty, Harry, and Shane. That is your podium here from round 6 at Imola. Fantastic, mate. Well done, boys, and good luck getting the heart rates down and going to bed after that one.
Cheers, guys.
Probably watch it back
Thank
to be
you.
honest. I just want to before Harry leaves.
Yep.
I just want to hats off to you, brother. That was an incredible race, genuinely.
Yeah, I knew you had me at the end, sniffing my
Ah,
gearbox.
I thought you had judged it perfectly. I saw you back off in the last sector before there, and I thought he's judging how much VE he needs to punch this to the finish line, and I thought you'd done it. When
Yeah,
you just
wrong
pulled
finish
out.
line.
Oh my God.
There you have it, boys. We're just going to go and rent a room for Harry and Matty Clark. They just need to just finish this one
Yeah,
off.
well, maybe Harry did think he had enough right to the end of the
Yeah,
line,
yeah.
but he
But
didn't. But anyway,
hey, look,
thanks,
we'll do the
boys.
same for the hypers. So obviously we've got Nathan. Boys, I've lost my data there as far as who was in. So maybe Isaac, can you cue? Was it
It was
Nathan was first? Who was second? Nathan.
Will
Was it?
Dixon. I
Was it
think
Will
Will
Dixon?
Dixon was there.
I
Yeah,
think
I
we've
think
lost
Will
Will.
might have gone.
Yeah.
And then
Who
Rob
else?
Mitchell. So if not Rob Mitchell, yeah, Rob
We'll
Mitchell's there.
We'll grab Robbie Mitchell down as well. So we'll grab him down. So Nathan Burley, we're going to start with you. We'll certainly, what a clinic put on tonight. And Robbie as well. I'm sure you had a lot to think about at times with Hayden Tegg with that reverse pitch strategy. But we'll start with Nathan. Talk to us about those trying conditions out there tonight. And you kind of made it look easy at times there. I'm sure you had your moments, but we didn't catch many of them because it was like another postcode situation.
Hey fellas, yeah, I mean, I probably didn't. I don't think I had any big moments. And yeah, I mean, I think most of the boys said that they would have got this was pretty much our like first hypercar race or even like driving in the wet. So it was a bit into the unknown. And then I literally seen with about like 15 laps of the race done, that already like three or four, I think like three hypers that already like DNF'd. So at that point, it pretty much to me just turned to survival because it looked like the attrition rate was quite high.
Yep. Yep. And Robbie, yourself, mixed bag out there tonight. Lots of battles. I mean, we know that Nathan obviously checked out and had his fun, but I saw you exchanging positions at one point with Hayden, and I'm sure that was pretty entertaining. But run it back home nicely in the end.
Yeah, hi guys. That was just like, just to try and survive, basically. I had more pace than I thought I was going to have actually in the dry qualifying. So I kind of wish it stayed dry. But yeah, I got hit at the start with Tag and went off and lost a fair bit of time. But then it was just myself. I just, like Nathan was saying, no driving in the hypercar in the wet. So yeah, went off track and raked the sand a few times, but thankfully avoided any walls or actually spins. And then, after a few of the guys went out, I just figured just try and survive. I think maybe, I don't know, 25 minutes to go. I wasn't really even trying to fight like past GT3s. If there were a couple of guys battling, I just wait until the straight. Just didn't want to wreck anyone's race. But yeah, happy to finish. It was really a race of attrition.
Yep. And so drying track at the back end, boys, we talked to the GT3 boys about it and whether that spiked those wet tyre pressures. Did it give much effect to you guys at the back end, or did it just balance the car up a bit more? We were thinking that it would have spiked tyre pressures maybe quite drastically, but didn't sound like it did for the GT3 boys. How about you guys?
No, it was fine for me. The track was drying a little bit, and people were starting to go green a fair bit, into the 43s. But when it started to get a little bit wet again in the end, I didn't really notice much difference. But I was driving slower than Nathan. So what do you reckon, Bewley?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like through the whole race, I actually had like fronts that were quite overpressured. Like they were like, quite over temp. Like they were still in the critical range. So the rears were quite good. So, but even then, I turned the anti-roll bar down all the way just to make it as safe as I could. So it probably made maybe the fronts too understeer. And then yeah, like Rob said, about like 25 minutes to go, like the track was quite clear and all that, and yeah, it started to put in some really good laps, but then yeah, that started to like boost the tire like up even more temp wise, so it just felt like the car just maybe became a bit more understeery, but it felt like even with those conditions, it was more just about survival. So yeah, even if it was a bit understeery, just take the corners, entries just a bit slower, and just maybe brake a bit earlier.
Yeah, nice. And before we let you go, congratulations, lads, on the performance tonight. Because trying conditions and you both ended up in the right spot here tonight. You're down here having a chat to us. Just want to pay some respect to the pole time, Nathan. I think it was a 30 with a 0. Was it 7, something like that?
Yeah, with a 7. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was all right. Like, I mean, last time we ran here, I figured in the Toyota, I think I did a 30.8 Obviously,
Yep.
the conditions are a bit different here. Felt like
Yep.
maybe if we had more time or something, because it felt like tyres struggled to get up to temp. Because it definitely seemed like the new tyres for the hypercar update are faster. Because I think last time, I think best like dry lap that I did in the race was like a 33.0, and we were looking on track from practice to do like low 32s or even high 31s race pace. So yeah, but yeah, it was alright. I don't know if I just got like the maximum out of it, where the other boys maybe struggled with the tire temp or something like that, because there was a bit of a gap and it looked like it was closer in practice.
I agree totally, and it does seem like the hypers really take a good two, maybe that hot laps at around lap 3, Nathan. In a qualifying situation, we can still see you guys searching for temperature on your certainly your first flying, but at times we're looking back and seeing guys looking like they're asking for more on the second as well. So hey, look, congratulations, boys. Well done on what was a difficult night out there racing at Imola in the rain, and you handled yourselves beautifully, done yourselves proud. So congratulations, and thank you for the chat too, lads. And we'll sign out there, and no doubt we'll be tuning in next week, and all going well, we're all having a chat again.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Thanks very much for your broadcast too. We'll go watch that now. Thanks.
You're welcome. So, fellas, there you go. Nathan Bewley does the business over Dixie, and
He does.
Robbie Mitchell. So, very impressive performance from the field here tonight. Some really great stories, some hard luck ones out there, some really defining moments in the championship too for some of the drivers. Noah Reid on the back end of a really tough night as well. So we'll see what that looks like when it comes across the desk next week, and I'm sure there'll be plenty to unpack. And once again, Isaac, it's always a pleasure having you tune in. I'm not sure where you're tuning in from tonight. I'm sure it's somewhere fantastic in the world, but always appreciate you beside us, mates. And Davo, as always, you're always a bloody legend. And I'll sign out and let you close up.
Yeah, cheers, J-Man. Hopefully be at Fuji next week, and always a pleasure to be beside you both. If I'm not on the track, I look forward to catching up with you guys on stream and seeing the boys take at it.
Awesome, guys. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you, J-Man, once again here on a Monday night. Monday nights at Matchfit Entertainment. That is Rainlight Racing's 2026 LMU Series. Round 6 at Imola. What a crazy race again. Pouring rain. We love that. Racing's awesome always, but just add a bit of H2O and it is all go, go, go. Join us next week for round 7, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll be at Circuit da Fuji. Awesome stuff. See you all again next week. Hit the like and subscribe button. Bye for now.